Hey chickies, okay, today we're doing a funny bunny. I'm still a bit sick, so I'm really sorry about that. My voice is probably even worse than it was the other day. Anyway, let's get into it. I hope you like it. So I'm starting off with a white base for all of my nails, and then over the top of that I'm using these gorgeous, really bright neon polishes from iScream nails. So the reason why we put it over a white base is to make the neon colours really pop and make them super bright. Sometimes you might need to do 2 coats. I'm doing 2 coats just because I want them to be really bright. And then once your first 2 coats are really dry, what you want to do is put a good quality top coat over the top, but a thin one, not something thick like Seche Vite. So I'm using iron nails out the door. Now for all of the details, I'm using a combination of Acrylic Craft paint and the iScream nails nail polish. I'm using white for the base of everything, and then coming in with a couple of little colours, not a lot. So you're going to need a dotting tool as well and a fine detail brush. Now on all my nails except for my accent nail, I'm putting these little white dots. And for those people who always ask me about my thumb, that's what I would have done if I'd bothered to paint it, but I didn't. I would have just put dots on that one too. Now how do you get uniform dots? Well, to be honest, it's not really possible. You can see that mine aren't, but they are all lovely and round and kind of squishy looking. I really like them. But I suppose a light touch and a lot of practice, that's really important. But a light touch is really important as well, but a lot of practice, as per usual with everything, is really important too. I'm sorry, my brain's not working today. Now once you've finished your dots, you can clean up any mess that you might have and then just leave them alone to dry completely, and we'll move on to the next step, and that is the bunny, and that's going on the accent nail. So I'm just using white acrylic paint and painting a general outline of the bunny. As per usual, I'm using matte white acrylic craft paint, and one of the really good reasons for doing that is that once it's completely dry, it will dry matte, not shiny. And that way you'll see that it's dry. If you use glossy acrylic paint, it's glossy when it's wet and it's glossy when it's dry, and that makes it kind of confusing. So while the bunny's drying, we can go back into our dotty nail and start adding some colours. Now you can see that one of those pink ones just looked really stupid. Now to cover the white, we're using a slightly larger dotting tool. It probably should have been slightly larger than the one I chose, but anyway, not a big deal. If you need to correct a dot, wait till it dries and then go back over it. Don't try and do it while it's wet. So now that the first coat of acrylic craft paint of the bunny is dry, I'm going back in with just another coat, just a very thin coat, because I wanted it to be really opaque. Now after this coat is dry, I'm going to add a top coat, and the reason why I do that is that any of the acrylic craft paint details I paint on his face, if I make a mistake, I can just wipe it off with isopropyl alcohol rather than having to do the whole thing again. And that's a really important step if you're going to be doing these sort of cartoon-like things. I don't know if you saw, I did a top coat over the spotty nail. I'm sorry. So see how I'm painting the facial details in black acrylic craft paint. I'm using a little bit of white and some pink as well. If I made a mistake, I can just wipe it off. I don't have to worry about having to redo his whole white face again. And that's why I put that top coat over the top once that his face was all dry. It's a really important step because it'll save your life, I swear. and your hair, because you might pull all your hair out if you make a mistake after painting that whole face. It's like, no, thank you. As you can see, I've painted the outline of the eyes in black, and then using some pink done the nose, and now I'm just doing the teeth, like the mouth and whatnot. And once the eyes are dry, they'll be matte if you're using matte black acrylic craft paint, and you can go ahead and add the white. And then using a tiny dotting tool, you can add the little pupils in the middle of the eyes. And finally, I'm just coming in with some very light pink on the ears and around the mouth. It's really hard to see because the lighting is absolutely awful. I'm really sorry. I need some kind of professional setup, but I just don't have it. And once all that's completely dry, you can go ahead and seal it all in with a good quality top coat. For this one, I'm using Seche Vite. And that's it. I really hope you like this one. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter and get lots and lots of chocolate. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and thank you for subscribing. Thanks for that delicious thumbs up. Bye.